called for me, like a friend, intuitively intervening, telling me I've been inside for too long. Something is up. Your inquisition was right-timed. I'll come out to you, but if I can't concentrate, blame my mind, frantic and circulatory. Blame the city, a soundtrack of neon rhythms and cover bands. Blame the universe, a blanket above our eyes of unrevealed stories and traces, and we've discovered each other. Like three lonesome amazes, ready to stroll for Moscow mules, for broken off trophies, strobe lights, and decorated alleys. You have my permission to wander in a midnight silence why it took me decades to prelude a lack of focus. But for tonight, I just need the city and the canopy. Seduced by my own orchestrated spontaneity, I'll survive off little food but an appetite for a more pronounced hunger. I'll open myself up for a consensual abstract tailor-made for the built environment's inhibitions and anonyminities. And for the night of my life, this night of my life, I won't be alone. Good evening. I'm so happy to see y'all. What's beautiful with this room is I have friends who I adore here, new friends, old friends, actually only one old friend, and that was intentional. And it's been 15 years since I've had a feature performance, but my career wouldn't have started if I didn't start writing as a teenager. And so like a lot of kids who have no path out of poverty or come from humble beginnings, that was my rocket ship to get to where I went. And it became so much of my life when I was in Atlanta that it was just all encompassing. And I actually wanted to see, can I do other things? And that's how I fell into my career here as now our regional economic development leader. Obviously, there are a lot of steps to get to that point, but arts and the creativity are really crucial to how I became who I am. And as a result of that, I really wanted to spend this special night sharing poems that I've written in the last 15 years with you all. And so let's dive right in. Nations seeking democracy will pray to communism and won't see a light. Superpowers seeking dominance will pray in the name of Jesus and he'll be answering no calls. They will trust his judgment and proceed with no less caution. Freedom walkers will read off all their fears one by one, hoping a prayer is secretly transmitted in the process. A fortune teller will believe on their behalf. I will pray for rain, open no blinds, change no channels, write no New Testaments or disguise them as folded whispers. The day before will be my dissertation, and I'll sleep in until my judgment is called. Is that they're in crisis and you're causing that pain, and the person becomes just kind of blind on finding any hope to make it work. Our last laugh was 7 conversations ago. The last kiss was last month sometime. The last time I felt we were something special, I can't remember. The last time you felt we were, it felt too good to be true. So you went through my things, remembering the last times my joys were unaccounted for, only to find stashed away lyrics written in a braille that your nervous fingers stumbled across and completely misread. Now you knock on our doors as if you don't have a key. You were supposed to be here with me. What the fuck happened? The last time I raised my voice at you, you burst into hands of tears. You've been blind on us since. The last time I felt this frustrated, I walked out the door. The last time you walked out the door, I walked out to guide you back for the last time. So Blind on Us is about a couple.
that's in pure turmoil. And so what the author, which is me in this case, is saying to the person,
in an old box, I found a writing pad where you engraved poems about us and gave it to me as a gift. It was still empty. We'd lay under late night lamplights while I'd take inkless pens and draw images of blank pages aligned with empty poetic lines that never found inspiration or motivation to mark down on a permanent record. You never seemed to care, convincing yourself that, yes, this is love. My favorite moment was the night you took that still empty writing pad and read off all the poems about you that were never written. Those tears of yours were not from tired eyes.
My favorite next moment is really inspired by a lot of traditional poets where they tell a story of an experience. And this is where the person is so blinded by trying to make this relationship work that they don't actually realize you don't love them and that you're not really in it for the long term. And so the title comes from the moment I described where it was the most evident that we are really living in a different world.
This room would lie imperfectly still. In this bed there was no life, but the living foliage used as fabric to thread quilts to spider webs to trap these undiscovered emotions inside the retired dusk you saw as my skin. I'd lie in this empty space, giving this room nowhere to move. In my bed, no airs to breathe. Silhouettes aside, the earth itself blocked my view of the sun, inhibiting my side of this globe access to the warmth it brings, creating night times, revealing distant stars, yet furthering cold. The few specks of heat that once trickled warm gray air slowly dissipated, undifferentiating the feelings to feel and fall completely. I lived as the Arctic temperatures inside the tropic circles of latitude for too long, refusing to kiss and tell myself the secrets of what your touch would mean, by not letting those who fell into my love at least think I was thinking of doing the same. And so my last 10 years were all the same, laying still as the bed rotated counterclockwise toward the morning, while my side of the globe rustled in the darkness as the globe turned toward the sun. Late dawns and early anxieties aren't what make you brilliant. While many sleep and subways tug morning lights over rivers that shadow what night still remains, you've already signed in for heaven's rejoice. The least earth asks of us is to send you morning seeds to flourish a later glory, and firework the miracles that in themselves can almost appear brilliant. We ask of heaven to know your heart and nothing less. We ask of science to know Earth's deserts and enable you to create new gardens that in their creations are almost brilliant. I've discovered today that your heart and mine in sync, thin dark clouds, rewrite eulogies and birth prayers of thanks. Families bowed heads today, kisses were shared upon instead of reflected upon. Hugs, laughter, joy, joy, joy. Thank God for you. What makes brilliance brilliant is how God enables us to use a portion of His glory to deliver the miracles and heal hearts in ways that He cannot reveal Himself, yet He still does.
So Healing Hands is inspired by essential workers. It's actually, when you think about people who are doctors, people who do mental health, they do work that is so just universal, so spiritual, and so deep that it's like a tribute poem to them.
There are no more blankets. The remaining tents were too valuable for last-minute shelters. The sidewalks were closed for film production. The next set of apologies wouldn't be handed out till after the next sunrise revealed a limited sum set of lingering impairments. When the rain finally came, abandoned boxes corrugated into box springs that slid across trash-flooded, rodent-infested storm drains, transforming unmarked streets into rivers that carried the homeless downstream, spurring the devil's curse words without a foul mouth. Since that didn't kill them, it was okay for them to survive. It was okay for them to ask for tomorrow. So we gave them pillows, a curb, and a neighborhood for each other.
So leaving Los Angeles is my break my soul, great resignation moment, where I talk about leaving an environment that was toxic, and that process of determining that I need to quit my job.
We had the morning that follows hangovers, where strange fellows wake up in each other's arms, kept warm by desert moonlights and delayed shivers, and wander through the shattered memories in search of the backstory. I touch my chest and feel a pulse that trembles off key. What did I drink? How did I get so far from home? And how do I leave a place that so many leave unnoticed? I ask you your name. You offer me an audition. I tell you my name. You offer a better one for theater billboards. I share my story. You offer me a gift card for the dark room of my desires. The dotted lines just never end. Instead, we agreed to let the California sun darken the skin on my bare back and sterilize the truth from the true and never speak again. I took this camera to capture you in the city. These towers would fall down for your beauty, this I had to preserve. Here we're in Bryant Park's field. In this photo, we're along the South Street Seaport. Here at the center of Times Square, as if the world was watching us and we truly believed they were. As the sun set over the Hudson River Valley, I stood you right here for this photo in Union Square to capture the Empire State Building in the distance. The tower's floodlights were lit green, the same green of traffic lights leading uptown as you reached for my hands and my camera so I could shoot this video footage here and here and here of me running up Broadway towards you, passing 17th, 18th, and 19th Streets. I knew then I'd be willing to go past the squares, past Central Park, through the Valdic Valley, up to the heights to chase you with my love, laughing in a playful, newfound joy and capturing picture after picture of each step. Pride and confidence will destroy me for revealing this without consulting saddened clouds, broken eyes, and teary hearts. Practice does not make perfect. Cliches were wrong for counting love too when saying this, without including emotions, miscommunication, and timing as X factors that too determine what we are and what we can be. If anything, what we are will have no certainty as a possible love. It's better you know this now. Former loves and exes will cringe for me revealing this without stepping across emotional streams, fabricated hopes, and false premises. I've never been in love. Words and sentences were deceptive for saying I was without dissecting my wearied heart, broken eyes, and clouded distorts that too determined what we are and what we could be. If anything, what we were formed in uncertainty. As a possible lover, it's best you know I once loved this way and still may. Imagine you wake up with me beside you. Your lips reach for me to prove your kiss. Naturally, I respond in full sleep. We unlock the code, yes, this is love. You won't ask any questions, you'll never truly know where we've been, but only trust that we'll be here, waking beside each other, breathing each breath, within a late night's eyesight's reach. I will not let you forget even in my night's sleep. You hand me a key to keep as you fold yourself into my heart, so my arms can cocoon you into space. As a kiss on the back of your neck locks you into place, we take the right to bear arms. Yes, this is love. At what point did this mystery become too much or too rigorous a battle? Living, then trying to love inside the doubt of a shadow. So just imagine you wake up aside me and then kiss me. And in my kiss, all the answers come to you in a dream that you will never remember, except that all the answers prove to exist in the moments I validated your kiss, only to wholly insist that it is you and only you that I'll love forever, and nothing else should matter. I'd ask you to take a breeze with me and hold it to the sunrise. Instead, you'd wander off into the night fog, fully clothed, to feel the nakedness of sunken clouds. We'd circle back at the same winds, but I knew it wouldn't last. See, I'm the one who'd pin a tree down by its limbs until it confessed to me the day that spring would return. You preferred creating foggy Groundhog Days, layering yourself in scarves amidst cherry blossoms and perennial blooms, convinced that this winter wouldn't end anytime soon. We'd both unclothe ourselves into the same summer heat, but I knew it wouldn't last. I'd like to counter the dry spells of summer by measuring the offset of sea levels, then letting our heart perform the ceremonial dances to bring forth the rain to bridge that drought. But you insisted on us crying the difference. As you continue your course, the night fog began to court the sea breezes. We both departed layered and sunken clouds, fully clothed into the nakedness of summer droughts, circling off to our different seasons. I revisit my second thoughts, reprising them a third, fourth, and a fifth time. My God, things make less sense now than when they did not make sense before. You become less of a liar and more of a full-service concierge of pain than my broken heart can bear to believe. But only when I reconceive the moments when no second thoughts were made, are your horns unconcealed, and the avalanche tears into my chest, extracts the religion out of my soul, and hands me my body as a sack of abandoned skeletal bones. My heart must reject even the blood that it pumps to breathe as I stumble into the streets for air, for sirens, for God, whichever rescues me first. You kiss me with delicate care. We loosely hold each other, clinging more so to our one-night reservation with a half a morning included in the last-minute deal. Emotions stay inside, not sure what they'd wear in the shifting of seasons, preferring to cuddle themselves inside any emptiness appearing on the screen behind our soon-to-close eyes. I admit that I miss you, but you insist that you're still fine, perfectly managing the contrary that you've convinced yourself that I believe. You haven't changed. I seal your forehead with my kiss of sympathy, with an honest care re-letting you go, then roll over to my side of the earth and surmount a mountain chain of pillows in between and fall out of the dream.
You're still selfish just when you try to still make something work that you should have given up on, which everybody's had that experience. And that moment where you realize that, okay, I'm wasting my time by trying to pretend like we could still be together.
To see you happy, on shoulders of your father, knees above his arms, smiles aloud, festival crowds, hands in the air. On stages of dance hall theaters, knees against the floors, ambient spotlights, well past midnights, hands in the air. To see you happy, to see you alive, on concrete rinks, roller skates on your feet, no weapons beyond this point. circular move, thumping to house grooves, hands in the air. To know you from womb to fatherhood, from loving infant to the edge of death, is to know black boy joy and howl and repeats, down to the river and into the streets. Megaphones and flashing lights stop, frisk, and trials, collect calls, police walls, hands in the air. To see you like this and know you from child to manhood, from loving nephew to gunshot wounds, is to have lived black boy joy only to howl in grief, down to the river and into the streets. Never die ungodly in an armed madhouse. Never die castrated in doubt-filled emergencies. Never die unknown and disinvested. Never die counting marks on wall tallies. Remember to see you happy in mirrors and art, in a country that's yours for worse or made better. Remember to see you alive in your children, inside yourself. Here you are to be loved. Sincerely, your uncle. Death has already been promised, sealed into our forehands, tucked into our future plans. Same of pain, same of sadness, and navigating with no sensing direction. Same of loneliness, same of emptiness, and suffocating with no wincing reaction. But in that same gospel, peace has already been assured, same of love, same of joy, and laughing aloud with no elating sources. Same of worship, same of praise, and surrendering to God's weary courses. But one day the sun will perfectly position itself for the hours to step over themselves with extra care. And the children will be safe, the strangers will all speak, and each special person in our lives will reach out to us in a harmonized rhythm of rainbows to cap love across the sky. You'll wander in a teary-eyed bliss with no place to go and enjoy your prelude to heaven.
For Real is the final poem in the performance, and when you actually finally find a hint of love, you could assume that you've never been worthy of love or never thought you'd find love because of things you've done to other people or because of your life journey. And For Real is that moment where you realize that, okay, I'm actually worthy to be loved, and I can be happy, and I can find peace.
Having carried my heart up flights of weak stairs and seen my pride tumble to levels below basements where sewage resides, you feel for real. Everything about you. Having believed answers existed within journeyed mysteries, that our secrets conceal the things not revealed. You, my dear, are so for real. I've never asked for tears. I've never hoped for golden tokens, undeserved. We learn young that earth welcomes evil where good hearts roam. I've seen my mirrors broken into a labyrinth where phantoms reside. The aftermath can keep us tumbling. The repercussions can be endless journeys. Neither now appear to be my destiny. Thank you all.